All right, bet. It looks like. Uh-oh. Think we got it. I think we got it.
Baby, we back.
We back. It might look like we back. I'm Gary. Say. Test one, two, test one, two. Make sure y'all can hear me in Imperium. Gary said, make sure I
I
can.
can
Gary said, I can hear you too. You already know. All right, now we are back. Apologize for technical difficulties, y'all. But we're back. It's your boy Donnie Nola, aka Mr. Nola with the Doja, aka Mr. Ski Mask with the Sweet Gas. Let Me Rap With You podcast. We are here with a very special guest. If you guys have been outside recently in the past couple of years, especially to those who are funk fans, y'all know that the scene is getting out there a lot more. And one of the guys that I have with me today plays a very, very big part in this new evolution of what's coming to what I call funk coming outside rather than just being on the internet. So I'm proud to introduce my guy, Funk Around and Find Out, DJ Imperium. How you doing, my G?
I'm good, bro. That was a hell of an introduction. We like that reset. That was good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm doing well today. I'm happy to be here. Had a couple of my friends come through your podcast.
Honestly, bro, when it came to, dealing with most of these guys, we've had our, our little discords and stuff like that. And this was when the community was still, like Danny Tech said, more so on the internet still. So, when it came to making the decision of just bringing funk outside, when it came to that, what were your guys like first, like initial ideas behind it?
So I'll give you the origin story. Um, we're here, right here, physically right here. Me and my brother, Hoodie Main. We're chilling, working on a tune for my album Soliloquy 4, and we were smoking a blunt. We basically wrapped it, and we were smoking a blunt. And Devin Hoodie Main turns to me, and he's just like, he's in the captain's seat. I'm in the backseat chair, and he turns and looks at me. He's like, I wish we could do funk at like play funk out. I'm like, yeah, that would be fucking tight. And but there's a couple venues that I named that I won't name here. I was like, but we're not doing it there or there or there. And he's like, yeah, it'd be tight if we could do the Black Box, which is a reputable bass music dubstep venue here in Denver. They've brought through like a lot of really, really quality artists from overseas, and they really just push that low end sound. And so I have a really good relationship with Corey, who was at the time manager, part owner of the Black Box. And I was like, well, I can hit up Corey. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, he's the homie. And so I sent him a message like, hey, there's the most ambiguous fucking way possible, bro. Sent him a message. Hey, man, I was wondering if maybe quite possibly someday in the future, not too serious, when it's convenient for you, when it worked, like literally like giving him the option to say, no, I don't have time for that. And he just replies, bruh, like a bunch of H's down like 4 lines. And so I was like, Devin, I think we're in, you know? And that's kind of how it all got started, man. And Corey believed in us enough to get us a monthly event at the Black Box. It was every second Friday for nearly 2 years. I learned that Wook bass heads do enjoy this shit, and there is a lot of like adjacents to what we do in funk to what people enjoy out of like bass music, dubstep, all that. And so we had a good run there. We're looking forward to our 3 year party, which will be at Cervantes, other side probably, unless they give us the main room, which would be tight. But the 3 year party will be in January, so I'm looking forward to continuing to bring this outside, as you say. You know, like it's definitely an honor to take an internet genre, a YouTube genre, you know, something that's where it was listened to and consumed, and take my passion for it, my friends' passions for it, and be able to do it in a live setting in a professional manner. You know, not we don't throw sloppy parties. Like everything is really well done. So, you know, the venues we worked with are reputable here in Denver. And the venues can't really speak to a lot of the venues that we've worked with touring, but a lot of them are reputable in their cities. Aisle Five in Atlanta, for example, and a couple others that don't come to mind at the moment, but like a couple Baltimore venues that were really cool. So yeah,
Shout out to Danny Tech. He said that
yeah,
passions.
Danny's the
He
best
said
part.
he said passion the reason we're still active. And honestly, just to take it back because you know like you said and me and Danny we had talked about it literally last week. Funk was really just not even just funk. It's a lot of what I would say, cause back in the day, what besides hip hop, what do we have like disco, disco?
Like
Like I'm gonna say there were other genres along with disco, and
like G
one
funk, like chop and screw, like we can dissect it all like that,
exactly, and then and in an honest perspective, as a person who appreciates hip hop, you know, especially in the '90s, early 2000s when hip hop really took over, we were more into the disco samples going into the hip hop era. So that was more so the face of genres as aside from R&B, aside from Latino music, aside from reggaeton music, aside from Japanese fusion music, because those were still in face to to the
Japanese
people,
shit.
to the people of the homes. And what I would say, oh yeah, Twitch is definitely working great now. But what I would definitely like to acknowledge is that because even with we can speak on the best of them. North Posse, Purple Posse,
Yep.
Roland Jones.
Goodyear.
Yeah,
Shout out Pirelli 8. Thank you.
we
Doing that for
can we can speak on the best of them, but even with those millions of followers, those millions of listeners on Spotify, the funk genre was still more so in the internet, wasn't really outside. Now, unless you were a lucky fan to see somebody like Roland Jones outside of your cafe or something, or see somebody like Freddie Confetti at the store or something like that, if you were a fan that was lucky to see them in person, especially even with the shows now, it's cherished because these are the first, even with Funk Around and Find Out, with you guys, Ryan, running these shows. Now, even me, like, I still didn't get to see you or some of my favorite, funk artists or DJs yet. I've still only seen, you know, Bad Kids, Good People. I've only gotten to see, Alleged. I've only gotten to, just seeing Full Metal Parkers, even getting to, hang with him and stuff like that. Like I'm just starting to really, get that opportunity, even though this genre has been running for the past 3-4 years straight, been on a high rise.
I mean, well, I will say this is a slight joke, but like we're accepting applications for new fans always in the funk genre. But yeah, no, you're right. And I mean, it even goes further back than that. Like, the like 2016, and I'm even giving it like a sooner date. I mean, you had people like Smokey like trying to propagate the genre in like 2012, the early teens. I feel like it started to get like with back when Purple Posse, 2016, like some of the Purple Posse Volume One, Issue One, whatever it's called, one of the most iconic tapes. Like I don't love this person as a person, but as an artist and their influence on it. Vamp's tape, I Need More Blood, iconic tape. Like helped define the sound. That's 2016 as well. I was blessed to find Phonk in 2018. Didn't know what the fuck it was, and I was like, holy shit, we can make lo-fi with low end. This is sick. This is what I've been looking for because I made trap music, and then I started making lo-fi as like a little side thing. And I was like, fuck, I can marry these two genres. This is great. Um, so it's definitely got like roots back then, but still, people didn't even know what the fuck it was. And I'm always finding myself telling people like the way I explain funk is it's like trap and lo-fi fucked and had a baby, and then a rapper got involved somehow, And then like and then I tell people it's your favorite genre that you didn't know you liked yet.
And then
Eh,
also we have to credit people like Black Bound Beats who brought funk to artists, with his December series, the Year Zero series. People like him who, actually brought artists onto the beats. I want out, just taking I want out, just taking the leap, and for those, for the other, for the people who need to know the other page, the shadow code, saying,
Look at Jason
saying
Rich. Jason Rich is producing for big rappers now. I mean, like Big X the Plug. Like I think Bandplay's doing a lot of his beats, and like I feel like for Big X and like a lot of what Bandplay's doing for him is funk adjacent. Like it is super, like relative to what we would do as a standalone funk beat before we would sample fucking people like Big X or Dolph or Glock or whatever the fuck on it.
and even Zero from the West Coast, just him, just you know, branching himself out. Luckily, being in the West Coast now, it is a little like, and trust me, I tell people, I've had my own artists go out in the West Coast. So it is a little bit more costly, a little bit more, risky to put yourself out there. And even Zero just doing his, like you said, low end with lo-fi and funk, putting that stuff together. He's also working and collaborating, with artists as well. So, and then not only that, you have, and then let's put it out there because and I'll even I might even like put like a little separate clip out later on, but just people like Project Pat. I still have the clip that I got from when he was talking on Vlad TV, just talking about producers remixing their music. He like the people like him, they love it,
Right?
and
There's two ways.
and then Dame's Not Dead collaborating with them.
And like there's two ways that bigger artists that can approach that situation. They can either be pissed off and ask for royalties, like take the Metallica and Taylor Swift route and like, like give me money to play my music or sample my, like make us go through the hoops to get a mechanical license to legally use their music. Or you can just be like, dude, I love that I inspire people and people want to use my shit to make
I mean, at the same time, I don't mind them get like let them get because me, I'm a person that appreciates crediting those who came before
absolutely.
us. But like you said, they get let's communicate. You know,
Right. Right. And like I mean also too like the being this like using the samples and the way that we create funk, a lot of my friends, the way that they approach funk, Enocalypse, my boy Local Stranger, like the way a lot of them approach funk, it's like I've never heard that rap a cappella. Who is that? And then they tell me, and then I'm like, fuck, I'm going to look that person up. And then that rapper just gained a new fan because my friend sampled him, you know?
exactly. And honestly, like with funk, like I just wish because and shout out to Lucid Mondays. They just did a vlog with OZ Music. Big fan of his work. Big fan. I just wish that in the midst of him showing people that little funk John that he did at the end of the vlog, I wish that he would have just acknowledged. Now the one thing he did acknowledge the mechanics. He did acknowledge the mechanics, and I definitely thank you OZ Music for. Now he didn't acknowledge all the mechanics, but if you wanted to know, like the only part that was missing was he didn't name it the funk genre. But if he would have did that and then said the things that he said after that, basically for a beginner, he would have gave it a great breakdown. And he's a major producer, so like I said, like
Well, it'd be better than like Doja Cat, like trying to explain funk on an Instagram live type shit. But yeah, no, I mean any awareness to the genre, any extra ears, any extra eyes, to it is a blessing. And my lady says all the time, funk is a feeling. And like honestly, it's like, damn, like that hits, like that's a good statement, and it's like for me, like I'm biased, but funk is excuse me, funk is good anytime, all the time. And like once I found out that it's music you can fucking show your parents and your parents can fucking vibe to it, then fuck, we've hit a gold mine here, you know. So I like that about the genre. You can wake up to it, you can smoke to it, you can show your parents it, you can fuck to it, all that. So it's a very, very what's the word I want to use? Ubiquitous genre.
I look at funk kind of like let's look at EDM because like EDM the same thing. Now EDM has been it's been here, but it didn't really get. acknowledged like later on until we had like the Skrillex, like Dead Mile 5, Puma, people like that, until we had people and until we had people like that to you know actually put that on a span. Steve Aoki, people like that performing in front of thousands,
Right.
and then having selling out millions on tour. Until that happened, now I feel like funk. We're getting into that beginning stage of where EDM
Yeah.
was in the early
Yeah.
2000s.
And so that venue that we worked at, the Black Box that I was talking about a little bit ago, they go back in like to the early like the aughts, like the late aughts. And they were early promoters, not as a venue quite yet, but as an agency. Sub Dot Mission is who they are. If you like dubstep, check them out. But they go back into promoting dubstep before it was fucking cool, right? And they believed in it and pushed it and did it proper and brought out good acts and shit. And a lot of those people are, like 12th Planet, for example, Joker, like these bigger names that performed in those EDM type festivals and stuff. Um, they were doing that. And I, not to ride on their coattails or take any of that success away or to overinflate what we're doing here, but I liken a lot of what we're doing with Funk Around and Find Out to what Sub Dot Mission was doing with dubstep. And if we can just keep on it and keep pushing it, we're going to be the de facto leaders in the getting it outside arena of funk, like the live experience of funk. People are only going to come to us, be like, yo, I want to do a funk party in my city. How do we, and then that once the balloon pops, right, like once the light bulb goes off in all the people's heads that they want to listen to and experience this genre, then it'll be exactly like that. 2012, 2013 for fucking dubstep, and all these festivals popping up everywhere and big stages and da 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 da, like the whole nine.
Yeah,
And so
exactly. Especially with drum and bass. Like drum and bass has definitely been drum
like,
and bass has been in a high rise for the past like I'll say 2 years, like as long as I've been paying attention.
yeah, it comes and goes in waves in the EDM, like in the bass community, like, was like the squelchy, like Skrillexy sounds, like everybody's using
I
massive.
feel like the jungle genre is coming back because
Yeah,
because of the whole nostalgia
the
of
origins
everything
that's
of everything in
and
general,
all that.
gaming, um, Street Fighter action figures, basically anything that has to do with gaming, um, trading card games, stuff like that. Because of that stuff, I feel like jungle is definitely bringing a comeback because like when we're talking about scores and video games and stuff, you know, you know,
Well, look at something like Rocket League, I mean, they have that deal with Monster Cat, and I don't listen to, Electro House and stuff like that anymore, but like top 40 EDM type stuff like that. But it's games like that bring that music out to the people. Even if it's not funk, it's not trap music, it's not bass music, but like games like that.
Roblox just did the same thing for
Yeah,
indie artists.
and that's tight. And it's like we need to honestly, like, I probably need to talk to you about that. Like we need to broker deals with people. Like, here, please use my music. I just dealt with some shit 2 3 weeks ago. I did my usual Friday funk stream on my Twitch, and I got a DMCA notice for my own music,
Mm,
my own music.
that's
That's
insane.
like that was funny, but it's like, what? How do I remedy this? Like like on my own music. What am I, Metallica? Like, what is this?
Wow, so that's insane. Like a DMC. Wow, so it's and honestly, like even with these up and coming games, like you said, like Team Reptile, they have Boom Boom Cyberfunk. I feel like they can definitely be like one of the first companies to definitely branch off and start because their type of video games I feel like they can bring out different type of genres aside from the regular standards that people are used to today. You know.
I mean, like this is a high goal for video games, but I mean, even getting your music in a Madden or NBA 2K, like NBA 2K would be honestly like a fucking prime real estate for a genre like funk. because of their deep hip hop library. Even though a lot of it is top 40, their hip hop library. I mean, they do like that game in particular collabs with like Dreamville, like Cole and Boss and them, which is tight, and like their love for unknown artists and whatnot. So it's like that would be a high goal, but like fuck that would be a perfect video game scenario for a genre like funk.
Yeah, no, definitely. Even if it's not even the main screen, it could be in the what's that the
Yeah, you got to play for like 2 hours before you even get to that track type shit. Like, I don't mind. I don't care. Put it in the video game though. That'd be fire.
yeah, no, definitely. Even racing. I say it like this. I'm definitely surprised. Electronic Arts, like I'm surprised like the Need for Speed Unbound. Like I'm surprised, like because I feel like that racing games, especially with the racing aesthetic of car videos and stuff with funk music.
Yeah, and I mean that's where you like somebody like Skeller who like, and I can elaborate on like the many pieces of the pie that make up funk, but like in the different sounds and what shit. But like people like Skeller would be a perfect match for a racing game. Like his whole like Night Drive series where it's like the covers are JDM cars and shit, and it's just like good driving music, like, and that is like funk adjacent. So that would be really good ads like to that.
Yeah, because usually when I play racing games and I have the Spotify connected to the PlayStation, for me, I usually just have the like a little funk playlist like connected to it
Yeah,
or
why not?
something.
Music good for everything.
Yeah, yeah. So honestly, when it came to just like the first couple of shows, like what was the crowd reaction like when the first like Funk Around and Find Out shows like started coming out?
So it was funny, man. It was we started it in January and February. We did two, and then there was a pre-booked night in March at the lounge. Black Box has two sides, the main room and the lounge. And the lounge is where we did our monthly. They had an event already booked in March, so we didn't get that, but it was cool because that would gave us like the opportunity to like reset. If this is working out, the first two are cool, tight, maybe we keep moving forward. If not, then we'll fold and figure something out. But so January and February there were snowstorms. People still came out. I remember in the February event, they had Ghostland Observatory in the main room, and back part of the stage in the lounge has a curtain, and then that goes into the main green room for the main room. And dude, Ghostland Observatory like pops his head out. We're doing our opening back to back, I think, and he pops his head out from the curtain. He's like, "Yo," and I'll turn around and I'm like, "What's up, bro? You're Ghostland, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm in the main room." He's like, "What the fuck's going on out here?" I'm like, "Funk around and find out, bro." He's like, "This shit sounds tight." And he looks around and he looks in over the stage. He's like, "Y'all got more people in here than we do in the main room." I'm like, "Good luck, bro. It's a snowstorm out there." And like we had that spoke to the loyalists of the genre and people wanting to consume this, even if there's a fucking snowstorm outside. And it is probably dangerous and not for your better health to drive to the black box, you know. But so yeah, I mean, then April we had Enocalypse out, and honestly, I've never seen the lounge more packed in any of the shows I've gone to there. And that night was wild. That was arguably one of our most profitable nights of doing the 2 year. But the 2 year wasn't for money, or the not the 2 year, the monthly. I mean, the monthly wasn't for money. For the 2 years that we did it, it wasn't about money. Like I'll take L's all day on or break even all day just to be able to bring out artists that y'all have never heard before and show people that like we're in this shit. And yeah, we did tour, and sure as shit, the fucking Denver stop for Ryan Celsius last summer was the most profitable night we had on tour. And I don't like to talk money, but like when that was literally the most people we had at a show and the most profitable night for us as an agency, like that also speaks volumes to the mecca that we've turned Denver into for this genre funk. And I'm happy to do it and continue doing it despite what it costs. Like this is probably the most fulfilling thing I've done as an artist. And it's bigger than that now at this point.
How many people would you say filled out that night with Ryan?
Ryan was 342 or 341. We were 9 away from a sellout.
Mm.
Which is great because he had a well, I'm not going to talk contracts, but it worked out for us that we did not actually sell out. But it was, guys, in that old Greg video, it was the closest you can get to without getting your eyes wet, and that was great. It was live. Our 1 year party that we had 6 months before we had Ryan out, that I believe was a sellout. That sold out like hours before the doors even opened, which was great. Like you couldn't literally walk up and get tickets.
When it came to having, just conversations with Ryan, just about, the funk and culture, what were those conversations like?
Man, very, very very relatable and also supportive from his side because you try to once you get past the try not to fangirl, try not to fangirl, try not to fangirl. Once you get past that, like, and then just actually speak to other people as a person and as a human, just like we all like to be spoken to. Then it gets that out of the way, and you're just we started to relate on like what he did, what he's done for the culture of funk, and like he is probably the undisputed king of funk on YouTube, right? And so, like what we're creating for the live experience, we are, I would say, are cementing ourselves as leaders in that arena. So, we're talking with Ryan, man, is really cool because he supports everything we're doing. He loves the underground culture, putting people on, all that. And so that's what we're trying to do. That's our mission basically as well. And yeah, I mean, so working with him is great. Like he's super smooth as far as deal making, all of that. Like he shows up, everything. Yeah, Ryan's a really good dude. There's uh you heard it here first, folks. There's a strong possibility he might be out in Denver for our 3 year party. But yeah, that's still being cemented out. But Ryan is definitely my first choice for a headliner for our 3 year party.
No, definitely. And to be honest, and as me and Inoculus have acknowledged, he's now expanding, you know, his brand to now, some of the bigger, venues. Now you got stuff like, PuffCon and stuff
Con,
like
yep.
that. You got stuff like that that he's, branching out. And now that not even just as a headliner, but also, side tents with other performers
Right,
as well.
right.
So my question for, for Funk Around and Find Out, have you guys, thought about, doing the same thing, expanding with some of the, major, bigger brands that can actually help bring an expansion to the to funk, not only to the listeners, but also to other communities that are outside of even music. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It can definitely, to add to that, it can definitely be a cultural thing versus just, like it can be in a shoe commercial. I don't know if anybody remembers the Nike, I think it was Nike, it might have been Adidas commercial with Higher Ground by Tonight. And like the bum, like that fucking song in a shoe commercial, that was huge for like EDM trap at that time. To elaborate on our goals, of course we've theory crafted and had those conversations. My business partner Corey has deep connections in the bass music community. He's been an industry professional for years, working with the black box and such submission. um and so he's got a side agency, Misfit Media, which he's bringing on a lot of like the unsung heroes in like bass music, kind of like we're doing with Funk Around. And we, like, so I think like he's got a festival this weekend in Pensacola called Rolling by the Bay. And they're doing that. It didn't work out for us to be on that, but like there are those like opportunities, and like we absolutely are going to be looking into getting little like small takeovers, time slots at festivals, and there were a few festivals that didn't happen this year that we actually do have like our foot in the door with. And so I don't know if it's because the festival's resetting, they need to evaluate things, whatever, but those are opportunities. One of my label mates, Say Pond, has been playing a couple festivals and stuff, and like shouts out to him for getting out there and getting that genre out there. And I know that he does more like he can play, he's very versatile, so he can go out to a bunch of wooks and play a bunch of fucking dubstep and it'll be a good time. But I know he's also throwing in funk and shit as well. And so like there are other dubstep artists out there. I don't know how versed you are in that community, but there are other artists, Smith, for example, that are dropping funk in their sets. Super Future dropping funk in their sets.
I've heard of
Uh,
Super Future.
yeah, so there's a lot of these guys that are out there, like Smith has kind of propagated the I'm gonna throw like he has a song, Throw Some D's, where he uses that a cappella like on some fucking like some wook wubs. And it's a good time. It's a good song. So that like he's been doing that for a minute. We've got research chemicals and his alter ego, smokestacks is his alter ego. It's like his dubstep thing, and then he started Research Chemicals as like a funk hip hop project. And so it's like there's a lot of love that this genre gets, whether they are giving it love as funk or they just like the tropes of it. But I think there's a lot of opportunity to get there, get ourselves at a festival, get ourselves at these bigger events, for sure.
So for future events, like I'm just thinking, further down the line, like fourth anniversary, fifth anniversary, stuff like that. Like, name some other funk artists that haven't been involved yet that you guys have possibly had in mind that y'all would want, like for these like next set of shows.
So we got Sudier once, and I mean we had him out with Vamp, and that was in November of 22. That was a dream for us. Did not expect, even within our first year to have booked Vamp twice and to have booked Sudier, within all that. But we have, don't get me, don't catch me sideways. Like I have absolutely, we are in Sudhir's inbox, but it's just not working out, I think, for him to perform for us right now. Whatever, some visa shit, just personal shit, whatever the fuck. He's not available. So other acts, yeah. Barry Main for sure. Like, please, Barry Main, if you're watching, please talk to me. But like, yeah, Barry Main would be tight. Roland would be tight, obviously. Smokey, I don't know. Like, I don't know where Smokey's at right now. Like, with the whole nuke thing, just like, bro, like, you turn your back on funk, like, or you think everybody's a copy. I don't know. But like, artists like that still have history in the genre, and people would show up for that. Um, we've worked with Immune once. He's unfortunately been a little challenging to continue to work with. But yeah, I mean, who else? Who else? Jason Rich would be tight, but like he's in his own stratosphere right now. Like I said, producing for rappers and shit. So
Um, who did I have in mind? Would Sakizu be somebody y'all have in mind?
we've had him out. We've had him out in our monthly. And he's definitely in like we have a group Funk Around Find Out group chat. He's not on the label per se, but he's definitely, like crew, like I would put crew, if we made crew shirts,
He's a
Sakiza would get
he's an aesthetic. He's an aesthetic to the funk around and find out
100%.
culture.
He was, I believe he was one of our first year monthly parties that we did. He was also on our volume one compilation as well, I believe. So yeah, I mean, we definitely have a lot of love for Sakizo, but I got 12 artists right now. So like we got a whole full house right now with artists. Actually I had a conversation with a cat. He was like, "Well, my homie makes funk. Are y'all?" And I'm like, "Look, man, I'm not never not accepting applications. Like I'm never going to turn away a fucking rock star."
12 artists is a lot.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not openly accepting applications right now either. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, it is a lot. Like, and we've got
One
some of the
artist
best.
is a lot. People don't understand that.
We got some of the best in the genre too. I've got Ponsuda, Von Storm, Enocalypse, Caliber, um, uh, who else? We have Lil Rocket Man. Where Lil Rocket Man is literally worldwide.
Shout out
A
to
couple.
Caliber. He has my him and Odd One. They got my favorite song. My favorite funk song of the year right now is "Here for a Good Time." That was off Midnight Smoke,
Yeah.
Volume 3, I believe. So shout out to Caliber. That's
Yeah.
my that's been my favorite song and running ever since Midnight Smoke 3 dropped. So
Yeah.
definitely,
Caliber is really, I really love his style. Like it's definitely in more like in my lane of how I approach the genre. That super jazzy, feel good style. But then he can also just fucking get grimy too, which is great. Yeah, and he's
I mean, if
arguably
you're ever considering another person with that type of sound, then I would say NATO.
yeah, man. Definitely gonna have to check that out. I apologize if I'm ignorant to that individual, but I'm definitely
Nah, yeah,
following.
on IG, I think it's still, and everybody listening, 203 NATO, but it's with a V instead of a A. So,
Copy.
yeah, nah, Nate, nah, trust me, for that, for what you just said, bro. Like, I'm gonna acknowledge, NATO is for. If you listen to him after this podcast, bro, I
Oh,
swear to awful mighty God, like he's just gonna be one of them ones. Like, and I say it like this, like, it, you can probably ask Anocalypse.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean
Actually, ask
he got
Pon actually ask Ponsuda. One of my favorite NATO songs is a classic Ponsuda collab. You can ask Ponsuda.
okay.
Ask him.
I'll call Charles after this podcast. Shit.
Yeah, no, no, definitely. Like, and like I said, this is what I'm here for. Like, this is exactly like NATO is just he more than
Being able to share this shit though, and like that's the thing, like you being able to feature myself. Like I again appreciate all the accolades and like I know what I'm doing for the community as far as like the live part of it. But like I also am well aware that I'm not a funk OG and I don't have like super deep like I don't go that way back in the community. Especially as exposing myself as a funk artist, like that is what I've settled on type shit. And so this is what the best part of this is being able to expose people to new talent and different talent and put people on like flip their ears onto something else, man.
yeah. No, I'm getting ready to say like it's hard for me to name a lot of people off top, but especially for what we talking about, like and definitely shout out to NATO. He's been a Discord Funky Town member since the beginning. Can't even, like I said, just family, loyal.
Yeah.
Definitely got to catch back up with my guy. But whether it's morning time, cooking breakfast, or just taking that quick little minute to get high,
Yeah.
nighttime, you got your, like you said, you got that chick with you. Nighttime, shit like that. I've said it on reviews on IG playing some of his projects. Like
Yeah.
he he got that vibe for all situations, but especially with the jazz mixed with the trap
Right.
with the low frequency.
Right.
That's in my
Yeah.
opi- in my opinion, on my side, nobody does it better than NATO. That's just me.
That's awesome, man. Like I'm you are selling him great and definitely gonna have to check him out for sure. Because that's what I like to do is, take a jazz sample, take a gospel sample, take a soul sample, and now we're gonna throw some low end on it. Does it need a rapper? Okay, maybe it does. Okay, does it not? Is it standalone? Tight. But that's definitely the lane that like I myself am in for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. And and honestly, we've spoken on funk around and find out. Now, like, cause you definitely have your stuff on SoundCloud too. So, you know, when did you like? What year did you decide to like really start saying, okay, I'm gonna start, putting my stuff out, on SoundCloud and start releasing my stuff?
Oh, in general, so long story short, I was, I was a fucking candy kid, but I started, my first rave was 2010 EDC Dallas. And then it just went on from there. Fell asleep at the wheel coming home from New Orleans, Voodoo Fest, and it was November 1st, 2011. And after I was given a second chance at life, I was like, I'm gonna become a DJ. And so I ordered a Newmark Mix Track Pro. Um, I uh, I got that in, and I was teaching myself how to fucking DJ because I was like, well, instead of fucking going to parties and eating drugs, I'm gonna throw the fucking parties. And so it's like that's what I decided to do. I didn't start releasing music on SoundCloud until 2013. At the time, there was I forget what was their name, Indaba. They actually got acquired by Splice later on, but Indaba did these remix contests, and they would collaborate with, um, fucking Jonas Brothers, fucking they did one the Alesso and Ingrosso I think did a tune for like Monsters Inc. like the new Monsters Inc. movie at that time. You would get like, these studio quality stems, and you could just do remixes. Um, and so like there was a lot that I did with that, and like learned that Chromeo did a couple. There was this one girl and I found a lot of cool artists doing it. Like ZZ Ward, this like country hip hop chick. So like yeah, I did a lot of cool remix contests with that, was trying to make my own music and everything as well. Just didn't really understand things until like 2018. I just joined Ill Gates's producer dojo, which is more catered towards and focused on bass music. I was trying to make trap, but like I would still make dubstep shit and did that. And then like it wasn't until about like 2020, 2019, 2020 that I was like trying to branch my lo-fi stuff that I was doing into more funky type stuff, but like really not trying to like overdo it. And then like I think by 2020, 2021, I was like, fuck it, like I'm doing this shit. Um, I put out a Roy Ayers Ubiquity, Everybody Loves the Sunshine tune on 420. I think it was 2021. And that's like one of my better tunes on SoundCloud. And that's arguably funk, and like I wasn't even really trying to call it that yet, but like let's be honest, that's what it could be. Um, and then I started the Entanglement series, which is my Valentine's Day record. And now like Entanglements 3, like Entanglements 2 was a good shot, but I got this one song Found the Girl on there that I sampled Tony Fontaine, I Found the Girl. And that song's phenomenal. But Entanglements 3 is like probably like one of my best works for funk. Um, and I'm like honestly scared how I'm gonna follow that up for Entanglements 4. But we'll figure that out. So yeah, man. I mean, I've been around a while, and I've been trying to really figure out what I've wanted to do for a while. And first it was dubstep, then it was trap, then I tried the lo-fi side thing, and then like now, hello funk, I'm here. So
Nah, definitely. And could you name like some of the first, like some of the first artists, and whether it's funk or outside of funk, that you really started like collaborating with, that really kind of helped like 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 branch at the same time with you building your sound?
so like, I mean, yeah, I've got a close friend here, Mythic Rogue. He's in the dubstep community. We've got a couple really good collabs that have done really, really well, as far as SoundCloud numbers are concerned. Butterfly Doors was the first one. And then we have another tune, Shanti, and those are absolute dubstep, like, or bass music, whatever. But in as far as funk, like, I mean, one of my biggest resources, one of my best friends in the genre, is Enocalypse. Like, I mean, me and that man smoke every day. Like I'm around while he's like changing his kids' diapers type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the game that we spit to each other as far as like insights on this and how to do that. Like the nuggets that we drop for each other are really great. And so as far as like what I'm doing in Phonk, like definitely huge inspiration, huge mentor for what we're doing. Um, it's a blessing to be able to rub elbows with people like Von Storm, Ponsuda. Like, dude, Von texted me when he found out my dog died. Like my dog died in April, Bear. And like I got a lot of text messages from a lot of people, people in the funk community as well. But I mean, just to receive, like I haven't talked to Von in a minute, and just to receive like communication from people like that to acknowledge something personal that happened in my life and just checking on me as a human being and as a friend, like it all this shit goes deeper than our artist projects, and so yeah, man. I mean, Low Rocket Man, back when is arguably one of the realest fucking people too. He's on his own wave, he's doing his own thing, but he supports us so much. All of those flyers for our 2 years of doing monthly parties, Beck made. He made those. Like he came up with this font. Like he found this font and like it just worked out. And so yeah, he's helped us so much and he's been a huge resource. He's part of why we were able to get Sudier. Because him and Sudier are really good friends. So it's being able to get the nod of approval, so to speak, from like people like that, in our mission, in what we're doing, is huge. It's helpful, and it's inspirational. It definitely is like the coach to football player butt pat, like go get him, Tiger, type shit. It like definitely, lights a fire under our ass to keep doing what we're doing for sure.
Yeah, no, big facts. And like I said, definitely when you go through just even the small things, like you said in April, just, losing your pet, like that's the one thing I even say every day because, I got a cat, I value him every day because it's like, I don't know when he gonna go. So it's like, I try to, just really try to, value, you know, even the smallest things like, like that every day. And, you know, like you said, even just getting through all that stuff, having great people like, Enoch Lips, great people like Vaughn, just getting through it, that's just the small things that matter that definitely help build, build an artist too.
Yeah.
Those, those small moments and stuff like that.
Well, it's the personal shit, man, and like we don't like, I don't go into it to become, best friend. Like if you'd have told me in April of 2022 that I was gonna begin to have daily conversations with Enocalypse after booking him once and then fostering that friendship and shit, like I would have laughed at you, right? But it's like, so being able to also become friends with people through the music shit that we're doing, the same shit that we're doing is really great. And it does go beyond the music sometimes. And that's not to overshadow like, on the whole like Bear thing, like that's not to overshadow like any of the friends that also hit me up or the first time I saw like I remember going to when we did Dallas in May this past year. Like dude, like everybody, like Daddy Dirty, Ponsuda, and Bright Ideas, like they all came and like gave me a hug, man. Like so sorry to hear about your dog, bro. Like, cause I drive through Dallas or when I drive home to Louisiana, and on a fucking whim, I hit up Ponsuda. Hey man, like I drive through Dallas, and it's gonna be late, but is it tight if I come over and smoke you guys up, hang out, and shoot the shit? And he said, yeah. I was like, well, I have a dog with me. And he was like, okay, yeah, that's tight. I'll ask the boys, but it should be cool. And he had me over at their house and they all fell in love with Bear and they've always had been a continued like pit stop for me in Dallas, like every time I went through. And I never really like to go in and like start plugging myself, especially in a room with somebody that I look up to. But they asked me about Funk Around and Find Out before I even had to bring that up. And so, that's the impact that we're having on the community as well. But we were able to also foster and forge really great personal connections as individuals. So that's what I love most about this. I remember when I started it, I thought it was going to be like this like suicide boysy type fuck boy kind of community, and it is far from that.
It's the
Dare I say
opposite,
dare I say
basically.
the caucasity in this genre is a little a little high, but the everybody that I have met in this genre is genuine and really nice, and if not a little weird too, but we all are, right? So it's been a really great thing, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. And honestly, for funk around and find out, just for like shows and merch, what's next for like the innovation for the brand.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of like we like to drop for shows, we like to drop show specific merch you can only acquire at that show. And for like this shirt, I jokingly call the uniform. This is the first Funk Around shirt that we did. It's the font here and then the big hand on the back. This is the Funk hand, the little hand smoking. But that was like the first thing that we did. I think we want to have like seasonal long sleeves, like beanies we did. We want to do flat bills. But we don't have a web store, so this is good shit. Thanks for kicking me in the ass and reminding me I need to figure out a web store situation. But that's something we want to do. We're definitely more like merch available like at shows. I'll say that. So if you want some funk around merch for now in the moment, find a funk around show, which there are. But Enocalypse is playing with Ryan up in like Detroit area, so in October. So go check that out. Enoch will have some merch. So it's always good to just find us live somewhere to be able to acquire that stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely, and that's definitely gonna be a good show because this is about to be it's fall Halloween season. That's his vibe. So he's definitely gonna. If you're out in Detroit, or if anybody's gonna be watching this that's from Detroit, just know that when he comes out there, he's gonna turn shit up. So definitely just go out there, go have a good time.
Yeah, that's gonna
Definitely,
be
definitely get some merch because that shit will not be around for long. It
yeah,
won't.
it's gonna be a limited run. I have Imperium merch that again mostly you can find at a show, but my cousin does it, and so she's gonna actually print his shit for him. But he's not he's it's gonna be like 20 shirts, dude. So if you're out there, you see Apocalypse, go buy a shirt from him. They ain't gonna be around for long. But
Definitely.
that's the best part. It's like some Supreme shit, when
Mm.
you do it like that. Like, the show shirts. We did a show for Dallas. Or a shirt for Dallas. We did a shirt for the 2 year. We did a shirt for when we played in Rhode Island earlier this year. So we do these show specific shirts, and it's like that's it. It's rare after that.
Nah, big facts. And aside from the brand, just for like the rest of 2024, do you have like a set release that you plan on rolling out, or just
Me,
even going into 2025?
myself, yeah. I'm working on a follow up to my Crescent City record, which arguably Crescent City is the spiritual successor to Soliloquy, which is my lo-fi series. I just put out a tune, Royal, on Funk Around and Find Out SoundCloud. Um, it's like the single drop, from before the tape comes out. I think the tape's gonna come out on November 1st, that day we talked about a little while ago. And the next tape I have after that will be Entanglements 4. That'll be on Valentine's Day 2025. So that's what I have planned now. Working on just getting those done and wrapped up with a little bow for you guys.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the last question that I want to ask for Funk Around and Find Out. So when it came to like true, like I said, 12 artists, that is a lot of work. What made you decide, like, and it's not even like specifically with with each person, but like what made you really want to decide that you want to just you know really just put these guys under the wing and just like branch them out like as the next wave.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of it is, like people like Vaughn and Ponsuda. Enocalypse are kind of like I would call like dream side signings, right? Like people that like you already had my playlist before I ever had a conversation with them, and now they're part of the label. A lot of it is and as far as like the local Denver artists, Rocket Man, my boy Rectangle, um, obviously me, Corey, and Devin are going to be on the label too. A lot of it though is like people like that have helped us, have just shown up, just simply fucking shown up and just supported the shows and shown that they know how to DJ and shown that they have, ability behind the DAW and know how to make music and are just supportive of the shit. So there is a lot of that that goes into like a lot of the local guys. And then there's the piece of a lot of these people don't have somebody to represent them and manage them. And they have the ability to DJ. Like you would be surprised, bro, how many people in the funk community don't know how to DJ, just because they've never had that as like a potential platform for themselves. Being coming up in the EDM community, like you kind of have to be a DJ, right? And so that just kind of that came natural to me first before even producing. So but it's like you have to have both of those pieces as far as being able to be an artist on Funk Around and Find Out. Because if I get a fucking call and you have a promoter out in your area, you need to be able to go play a show. So funk artists, if you're listening and watching, and you know how to produce, learn to DJ, please, please just do it. It'll be good for you.
No, yeah,
Um,
definitely. Cause Bad Kids definitely turned that shit up when I brought him out in Philly.
Absolutely, and like there are other artists, there are artists obviously that are stronger in one thing than the other, and that's fine, but being able to have the simple ability to be able to hop behind the decks, plug your USB in, and perform music for 30 minutes to an hour is like all I'm asking for, like please don't train wreck, just keep the music going, like and like that's where I can start with some people. Like I'm not talking shit on Everest because his production is great, but like Everest is somebody who, is learning to DJ as they are becoming part of the label. People like Ponsuda, people like he's got a lot of strength in production, one of the strongest people in funk. And I feel like he is also somebody who's coming into DJing more and becoming more open to it through what we're doing in the live piece. And I am not by any means saying these people are unable to DJ and do that, right? But like it's cool watching Funk Around be an inspiration to people. Local stranger, he didn't know how to DJ before he started, like becoming hanging out with us and shit. And like now he's inspired, you know. So
He
these are
definitely needs to DJ. He has hits.
bro,
He needs to
bro.
that he definitely he's one of the ones like yeah. Like I'm
But
glad.
and with his ties with what's their agent masterminds, with his ties to masterminds, like he may not be potentially wanting to come around to Funk Around and Find Out, right? But like just because you're on Funk Around doesn't mean you're not part of Holy Mob anymore, Von Storm, Ponsuda, right? Like they're still part of the mob. So once local gets DJing under his belt, and then like, yeah, I'm going to be like knocking on his fucking door. Hey, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Hey, like bothering him to sign to the label because he's absolutely bookable and absolutely talented and a force in the community. So it's shit like that, man, that like make me consider why I put people on and why there are other people that need to improve in certain areas to be able to deliver the whole package that we can then deliver on as an agency. You know what I'm saying? It would be unjust of me to get a show in somebody's hometown and be like, speak for that and then them not be able to perform because they're, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just have the whole package, man. Like, and we got you. We'll put you under our wing.
What are a couple places or like what I would say cities that y'all haven't touched yet that y'all would love to get to?
Haven't touched. I definitely want to get New Orleans. Go back home. I want to play New Orleans. We haven't touched Houston, so that would be tight. We haven't done a lot of like we've done Seattle, Portland, but like, LA or Bay Area could be tight. As much as I like this day in the West Coast, no offense, West Coast people, I love you. But other places, I guess like, Miami could be tight. Um, let's see, we did Atlanta. Uh, what other Chicago could be cool. Chicago could be real cool. Um, yeah. That's really like I guess it. I mean, like Phoenix, is probably a good might be a good hub. Um, but yeah, like that's kind of, we've done Baltimore, we've done Atlanta, we've done obviously Denver, Portland, Seattle. Um, we did Rhode Island, interestingly enough. So honestly, doing a show in
Hopefully one day you guys can come up to Philly. Hopefully one day.
Philly, fuck.
Trying.
Talk to somebody, bro. Like, get me in touch with a promoter. I'll be in their inbox like later. Straight up.
Ryan knows a couple of people out here, but at the same time, you know, this is why I do what I do, just to, you know, make the scene more known. Like let
Right.
people know like this should exist.
Well, and there's festivals out there too. My lady went to one last year, I think Submersions out in Pennsylvania somewhere. So like there's like a lot of those like smaller festivals too are going, circling back to your question from earlier, are like where good breeding grounds to start with this shit because like they're smaller, they're not like flooded with having to get big headline artists for whatever reason. Like they can, get a good deal from some smaller collective that knows how to do the work anyway.
Yeah,
And
definitely. Even when I did the same thing when I brought Bad Kids and Full Metal Parkers out, did a small venue, didn't, like I said, I just needed a start,
right, right. And I mean, yeah, for what it's worth, like we're definitely down to come out there. Philly would be cool. Apologize that I missed that in my geographical overview, but yeah, that would be a tight city as well. Big hub city. And you need these like big cities where you've got a melting pot of people that enjoy a lot of different things, and that's where you can bring out like a lot of these fans. And like, fuck it, the venue's 150 cap, like, and we get 125 in there. That's a good, like get 100 plus in there. That's a good night.
Yeah, 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 it'd be a good turnout. No,
So
definitely. But I'm gonna keep it honest. The last thing that I want to say, because I always say this for every episode. So, and honestly, I'll say it like this. Honestly, we can even just give it to the reference of people that are learning to DJ, because that's honestly a good thing. Not because I'm sure there's producers out there too, outside of funk, who probably are trying to learn to get on the boards a little bit. So, if you had one final bit of advice to give to people out there who would want to DJ, like what would you tell them, or like give them a good boost to start?
well, the first thing I'll say into anything is the first step to success is getting started. Um, but the real thing, the real actual tip that we're looking for, is just download the program, bro. Like get Serato, get Virtual DJ. I learned to DJ on Virtual DJ, and I'm not ashamed of that. Download that. Go to your local guitar center or pawn shop and pick up like a cheap controller. Like you don't need more than a Newmark mix track or a Pioneer SB series. Like you don't need fancy bullshit to just fucking get started. Play your favorite music, learn to mix it, learn how to A/B transition, and start there. Like that is literally the basic thing that I'm asking for people to do. When I did the monthly for 2 years, like, bro, I've never DJed. Okay, just don't fucking train wreck. Literally, just fucking transition fine, and it's cool. Like if you have to use filters, fine. Just keep the fucking music going. That's it.
That's all it's about. Is just keeping the
The,
music
the
going.
crowd will be none the wiser. So yeah, just get started, man. Like just download a program, download Virtual DJ, download Serato Lite, go get a cheap controller. You can learn to do it on your computer as far as A/B mixing, but getting the tactile feel is super important as well. Go play it, go fuck around at the local guitar center and sit in the DJ room and fucking, twist the knobs. Like, be that guy who fucking cares, Like you saw Von Storm do it in his I had 12 days to learn how to be a DJ video on Yokai, right? Like, go fucking do it. So it's just get started. Don't be afraid, and then record a mix. Send it my way. Let's see what happens, right? That's all I mean. That's
It's
all.
definitely and it's definitely a lot of SoundCloud pages that definitely still people sleep on honestly and I, I have to go out with this before I leave. Like, um, people sleep on like, and then what? SoundCloud actually, what did they just do yesterday? Actually, um, those who are on SoundCloud, search this up. Um, I think it's SoundCloud merch. It's like a drop shipping joint. Like you send them the design, they do like the mocks, they handle the shipping and stuff like that. I know they're still probably testing and all that stuff. I'm not saying it's 100%. I ain't get to try it yet, but I mean, hey, it gives me a reason to get a pro account now just to, hey, shit, shoot the shot. Why not?
Right. Right. And like it's the same thing with releasing your music as well. Like, don't be afraid, man. Like just put it out on SoundCloud and then like, get DistroKid, get Level, get whatever service and release your shit on Spotify, dude. Who gives a fuck? I mean, the first like you can't get fans if you don't have content, you know.
Nah, big facts. And honestly, bro, it was great sitting here and having a great conversation with you. And honestly, this is definitely going to be one of those episodes where I feel like those, not just in the funk community, but also people outside the funk community, are definitely going to have a few gems to definitely take with them outside this episode. So it was definitely great to have this conversation with you, bro. For real.
Oh yeah, man. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate the platform. I love what you do, and yeah, man, blessing to be here and tell my story a little bit.
You already know, bro. And y'all already know how it goes because it's your boy Donnie Nola, aka Mr. Nola with the Doja, aka Mr. Ski Mask with the Sweet Gas, DJ Imperium, Funk Around and Find Out. And y'all gonna find out because it's gonna be more events. So just make sure y'all follow him, follow the page. Everything's in his bio. And I think I DM'd you Nato's page already too while I was sitting here. So definitely, just definitely had that one considered in the books too as well. You already know. But until then, y'all stay tuned in. And definitely, anybody that already follows, me in the Instagram and all that, definitely start suggesting some fun guests to bring
Yeah,
on.
I got a whole label.
Shoot,
Gotcha.
Gary say. That's a shoot. That's a run right there. Well, let's keep them going. Uh, Everybody deserves a voice. It's like I told Anoculus. Like, just had like Ryan giving him that voice, like just for his music. So you feel me? Like you already know. But may the funk be with you, bro.
You as well, sir.
You already know. That's how I always go out and when I we talking about funk, I always say, may the funk be with you, my bro. But I appreciate you, bro, and I'll catch you. You be safe
Absolutely, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
for sure.